Гибсон – это сенсация. И мне бы очень хотелось взять у нее интервью еще тогда, когда мы были на конгрессе в Туксоне. И вот в этот раз в Лос-Анджелесе предоставилась такая возможность, она любезно согласилась ответить мне на несколько вопросов. Первый вопрос – как она появилась на Земле, в каком году, в каком возрасте и где?
The life of Christina is a sensation for us on this planet. I wanted for a very long time to have an interview with you, since we met at the Tucson Airport Congress, and having the pleasure today, I would like to ask you my first question. How did you appear on our planet? What year was that? And in what manner did you appear on our planet?
All right. In 1955, before that I was asked if by spiritual teachers and the people who were raising me on Venus, if I would like to do an experiment, come to Earth, and live in society here as a child, and grow up with a mission to bring public the story of how people from other planets have been intercorrelating with people here for thousands of years and what the connection is, which of course were their forefathers who brought the colonies here a long time ago. They've lost track of their beginnings, and the purpose in coming was to live in society and understand the human consciousness from their level by living in their society. And to do this, of course, I'd have to come as a child and grow up with the understanding of the prejudices, the class structure, the different religions, and the changes that people go through emotionally. I made the decision to come, went to the city of Retz, the only existing city on the physical and the astral level, and lowered my vibrations, manifested my physical body, and said goodbye to my family. I tried to bring artifacts with me. I gathered a few plants and tried to preserve them, and I had a ring that I did bring with me, and they picked me up in a small craft, what we call a scout ship, and transported me from the surface of Venus. We have like a dome over the city of Retz, and it's not visible because of the gases and the fire and the flames cover the city, but you have to know the location. Our ships have the ability to travel through time and can appear and disappear from vision because of their vibratory rate, the control they have over the magnetic waves, and to create their own gravitational force. We left the surface, met a huge mothership, cigar-shaped ship, went into the chamber, parked the ship, and then I prepared for my journey to Earth from Venus, which didn't take very long, maybe 24 hours. We became close to the surface, and once again I prepared to board a small craft, and they told me I would be going to the Montessori Mountains in Tibet to stay in a monastery with monks to learn to adjust to the gravity and prepare to live in society here, and that was approximately 1951.
И как первое, как ей пришлось привыкать в земных условиях, и кто ее нашел, где, или она уже об этом рассказала, да? Вы потом мне переведете, я потом сама буду говорить. А сейчас я хочу сказать, как ей пришлось привыкать к земным условиям, и намного ли они отличаются от тех условий, в которых она жила.
How were you able to get accustomed to our earthly conditions of living here? Or were they very much different from the ones you were accustomed to? What were the major differences that you observed?
One of the things, well, in the monastery it wasn't too bad. I was living with the monks and they're pretty spiritually aware. The hardest thing to get used to, of course, was my physical body. I felt like I was in a suit of armor, and I had difficulty walking and having my peripheral vision taken away. I didn't, wasn't able to see in all directions that I was used to. I wasn't aware that in your society, whereas there we can think something and it can materialize. Here you have to go through the physical means of, picking up the object and eating and, reading a book. And if you want something, it's not available to you just by your thoughts. I had to learn to use my vocal cords, had to have the exercises for that. I had to learn balance. They made me walk on, like walls and beams and stuff. I fell many times. I bruised myself and found that physical pain was something I was not familiar with, but I quickly became familiar with. And it was very difficult. Everything was hard for me.
Пожалуйста. Кто были родители ее вторые здесь, на земле?
Would you tell us something about your second parent on Earth?
Actually, I didn't know very much about my father and my mother here because I went directly to my mother's house, my grandmother. And I had been given their history and was pretty much familiar with what Sheila had went through and her relationship with everyone. And she had been born to a mother who was 15 years old and had, as a child, been living with aunts, uncles, her father, her grandmother, and she was being sent back to her grandmother.
Дальше какой вопрос? Пожалуйста.
So she went to live with her grandmother, coming from a violent situation where that she was being protected at this point, but not being close to any certain members of the family for any long periods of time. It became easy to be incorporated into the family without them noticing very much difference, since we physically resemble one another very much. And this happened, of course, right after the little girl had died. And I started living in society and learning from the point of an adopted child.
Скажите, пожалуйста, встречается ли она сейчас со своими земляками и встречается ли, может быть, с жителями других планет здесь, на Земле?
Are you presently meeting from time to time with representatives of your race here on Earth, or with representatives of other races, other ET races here on Earth again?
Well, I kept in contact with them from time to time. They would send me mental messages, just more or less greetings. At one point when I became very ill with a disease called leukemia, they made arrangements to meet me outside in a desert area in Nevada in a scout ship for a healing treatment that's not available to most people here. Although the information is available, it's not on the market. I was taken inside the ship and we flew to an area beyond your vision, physical vision, and they proceeded with the procedure. I was given a sedative of sorts so I would relax and put into sort of like a sleep state. And
Задайте еще один вопрос. Что-нибудь есть у нее такое особенное, которое ее отличает от нас, от землян? Вот замечала ли
Our
она?
next question is there anything particular that is different between the two races, between the Venusians and the Earthlings, that you notice after your arrival here?
I was aware that we as a people know that we are soul first and the body is just temporary. And most people were walking around thinking that they were the body. They didn't have, they had no ability to communicate on any level other than speaking with one another. And I felt sort of lost and frightened, but the physical differences were we have a purity in the way our appearance looks. We've been described in the Bible as angels because of our appearance being very etheric, even though we're physical people. We have the high foreheads, the big eyes, the different look. And our hands are shaped different. than most people's, like a flame. The other fingers curve toward the middle, which is straight, and it looks like a flame on a candle. And we have the ridges in our forehead, the shape different, that comes down, and they're quite prominent, the different shape of our skull. But you will find these characteristics in many people, since we are their forefathers, and the genetics are there from us. But they have been intermixed in your races. We manufacture our own calcium. We have faster heartbeat, carry the children longer than most Earth people.
А есть ли у нее способности к целительству, к левитации, к телекинезу, вот к таким аномальным явлениям? Есть ли у нее способности эти?
Do you have any ability in yourself toward healing people or some other and higher paranormal abilities as levitation or telekinesis or telepathy?
Yes, we have telepathic abilities. We can communicate with the mind, which I sometimes know what Marina is saying, even though I don't understand her language. I'm familiar with, I pick it up in my mind from you. And I am capable of healing people, but don't very often do this because of spiritual laws that say that you have to go through these experiences. It's a lesson for you, and that prevents me from doing a lot more healing. But people feel, if they touch me, they can feel this energy, and sometimes they don't understand what they feel.
Thank you.